10.4a, solving equations by factoring, the zero product rule. So we're moving to a place where we're going to take those factors that we found. In the last section, we were just factoring expressions. And now we're going to turn them into equations using the zero product rule so that we can solve the equations and figure out what x equals. X is going to equal more than one thing. And the reason that we use the zero product rule is it just sort of helps us to solve because we know that if I have a times b equals 0, then either a equals b, or just kidding, a equals 0 or b equals 0, because anything times 0 equals 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 100 times 0 is 0. Doesn't matter what size the number is. If I multiply it by 0, it's going to disappear. So to solve these equations, we're going to set each factor equal to 0. Because that's going to tell us what our two possible answers are. So if I have 5x minus 1 times 2x plus 5 equals 0, what I'm going to do is take that 5x minus 1 and set it equal to 0. And then over here, I'm going to take the 2x plus 5 and set that equal to 0, and then solve these kind of as two separate things, and it'll give me the two answers for what x is going to be. Because if one of these two things, one of these two binomials, if this guy or this guy equals 0, then the whole thing equals 0. And the reason that I come up with two answers is because in this case, x can equal more than one thing. Okay, so this is hopefully just a little two-step equation that looks familiar. I'm subtracting that 1 there. So in order to move it across the equal sign, I have to do the opposite and add it. To get that x by itself, I'm going to divide by 5. So over here, x is going to equal 1/5. Now I'm going to do the second binomial over here, and it's just the same way. I'm going to minus the 5. That gets rid of that. So now negative 5 equals 2x. I want that x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 2. So x equals negative 5/2. So these are my two answers. X is going to either be 1/5 or it's going to be negative 5/2. Let's look at another example. Over here, I actually have 3 factors because I have a 2x outside. That's times x minus 3, or just kidding, 6. And then I have 2x plus 3. And so again, I'm just going to set each one of these equal to 0. So over here, I'm going to say 2x equals 0. And then right here, I'm going to say x minus 6 equals 0. And then over here, I'm going to do that 2x plus 3 equals 0. And again, I'm just going to come back and solve each one of these little guys separately to see what x is going to equal. Okay, so this one's real easy. I'm just going to divide by 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So x is going to be 0. How about over here? Plus 6, because I'm trying to get that x on one side of the equal sign by himself. So x is going to be positive 6 right there. This one's a little bit more complex. 2x equals negative 3 once I move that 3 across the equal sign. So over here, x is going to equal negative 3/2. So again, I've got three answers. X is going to be equal to 0, or it's going to be equal to positive 6, or it's going to be equal to negative 3/2. Let me know how this goes.